What's up, everybody? It's Joe La Puma. You were watching the Complex Sneakers podcast. As always, I'm here with my two co-hosts, my two friends. First off, to my right, Mr. Matt Welty.
Hey, we're here.
Yep.
We are here.
We are here. Okay.
Gave him the thumbs up.
To my left, Mr. Brendan Dunne.
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
We're here.
Yep, look. This is how we're starting it out. Dave Matthews is in studio, came fresh off Teterboro, just to diddy bop and land his jet.
Listen,
Welcome, Dave.
The gang's all back together.
Yes, it is.
We are missing some people because we did have something fall through this morning, but whatever.
Save it for the documentary.
Okay, other than that, our producer Dave Matthews is here. Mm-hmm. Haley is back, our editor from vacation.
Yes.
So you know what? Here's what I love about the level of dedication people have to this podcast. Last week, our editor Haley was on vacation.
Yep.
You know, so we had a sub in.
Yep.
And people are so tuned in that they noticed there was an extra bar of music in the intro.
You know, when Drake was dropping all those freestyles, he used to let the beat build just in case
or
someone
let
wanted
Jess live, take a bar off,
exactly.
you know?
Just in case someone wanted to try their hand on get some bars off, we put an extra bar. If a freestyle pops up this week, go in. Go in. Yeah.
We might have to bring the Pulver brothers out of retirement. They can bring the leatherback freestyle.
For real.
Salute.
For real.
Okay, but we're back to regularly scheduled programming.
We are.
The intro music is just as long or as short as it should be.
At this point, you know.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, we'll see. Okay.
You never know.
You never know. Take a bar off, add a bar here. You know, we'll see.
You got to stretch the budget.
Exactly. What's going on? Well, how was the weekend?
I had a good weekend. I was at the Governor's Ball Music Festival.
Okay. Central C you saw?
I saw Central C. I saw Kendrick Lamar. Lil Nas X had quite the shaky set.
Really?
Yeah. You know what? I was actually stressed out. Caught Lizzo on Friday evening.
Okay.
You know, Yiddy Gang. I was thinking about come through in the sequined Yiddy hat. But
I would have loved to see it.
Here's why I was stressed out. In the planning for going to Gov Ball, the person I was going with was asking what shoes she should wear.
Okay.
And she was trying on a bunch of different sneakers, and eventually she landed on the Taxi SB Dunks that I got her.
Oof. Okay.
You know, not the most
green ones?
valuable, green Taxi Tokyo Dunks. Not the most valuable SB sneaker ever, but you know, a hard shoe to find in a small size. It's worth a decent amount of money. And I was like, look, we're going to a music festival. I don't really know if that's a sneaker you want to wear. But she landed on them. And we showed up on Friday night, and it didn't rain all day Friday. We got there, the Uber dropped us off, we had to walk a long ways, and literally as soon as we got in, it started raining. And then it started pouring, and then it started dumping all over the SB Dunks. And I was like, I tried to warn you about this.
She do the rain and stain repellent? She do a few sprays?
There was no crepe to be had. You know what, though? It got me thinking about sneaker cleaning a lot. I'm like, maybe, I feel like that could be a regular segment on here. Maybe we get a sneaker cleaner company to sponsor us. We need a new sponsor.
Tiffany Air Force Ones when I went home the other day.
There was
put the crepe on them?
Yeah.
There was a sneaker cleaner brand who contacted me recently saying, "Hey, I want to send you a bunch of product to put on the set somewhere." And I said, "Hey, you know what? If you want to do that,
okay,
you can sponsor the show."
That a boy. Who knew you would put your sales hat on?
Have y'all ever been in that stressful a situation when it comes to maybe sneakers in the weather or at a festival specifically where you brought the wrong pair out and you're like, oh fuck, what am I gonna do?
When that Trojan horse is just hitting on the Tokyo.
The Trojan horse?
Yeah,
what?
Central
Talk
C's
about
new album.
protection? Oh yeah, him and Dave. Sorry. I was thinking of a different kind of Trojan.
Okay. The Central C set was hitting and the Tokyos were a little...
That was a different day.
Okay.
Yeah.
What did you wear, by the way?
I wore the ALD New Balance 860 V2. And they got dusted up a decent bit, but when I got home, I scrubbed down her Tokyo Taxi Dunks and I scrubbed down my New Balances.
Did you get them back to pre-condition?
What do you mean? Did you see him in college? It's like a
we don't need to bring up the
He
assets.
was like a chemist in there.
You never know. Sometimes I've definitely tried to clean shoes in the past and wrecked the sneakers in the process.
Yeah, I'm not the best sneaker cleaner, which is, like I said, we need a sponsor to come in and, you know, we could do this on a weekly basis. But I feel like I did okay with my New Balances. I like to use the whites.
That's an easy shoe to clean.
White leather?
No, it's mesh and synthetic.
Mesh is tough.
Mesh is hard to clean. To me, mesh is one of the hardest surfaces
Mesh is easy to clean.
The new runner.
In the sense that there's no consequence of cleaning it too much.
Like a suede or a nubuck.
Yeah, you're not going to ruin the shoe in the process. It might just be a pain in the butt to get out, but you can literally take dish soap and a brush and just scrub the heck out of it and see where it goes, and you're not going to make unless you like somehow scrub it so hard that you actually tear away at the mesh fabric, which could happen.
I feel like when I think about the handful of pairs of shoes that I have where there's one exact spot, you can remember how a shoe got messed up, and you can see this shoe in your mind's eye and that one little splotch on it, and it's oftentimes a mesh panel on a toe box or something.
It's like an oil spot.
Especially one little pixel.
You eat at a lot of Italian
restaurants like you and I do.
Come on. Little garlic and oil pasta drips right on. That's it.
A little Alfredo, maybe.
Yeah, a little carbonara.
Oh, what was it?
Carbonara.
Okay.
Little bucatini. No. Okay.
I brought them reasonably back to life. Though. I just do the wipes. These days I don't pull out the bowl with the comb and the brush and all that. I just wipe them down.
Just get some water and just like
That's it.
No, I'll do a solution. But
we'll see. There's some out there, and we'll see which one is our favorite.
Sneaker cleaning from
the worst when you try to clean a suede and like you need to like dry like spot it almost like while you're doing it.
Yeah. So what's the right way to do it? I'm not totally sure.
So suede is that like you don't number one you don't want to use too much solution. Like if you straight up like pour a ton of water, ton of soap, and then just start like scrubbing like
on the suede. God,
yeah. See, that's where I go.
That's too much.
I used to go a little too aggressive.
You kind of need to just take a little bit and kind of start to work it in, but then also have a towel there during the process, so you scrub it, and then you also kind of like pat it down. So it's the shoe isn't like, even though it's cleaned, it's like the amount of water that's on the suede. Like when it dries, it can dry the shoe
out. A little crusty.
Yeah, I had
crunchy.
One of the biggest regrets cleaning a shoe. I had the Saucony End Clothing Burger collaboration, which like
I remember this fiasco for you.
Yeah, and the shoe just got wrecked.
Yeah,
because I just was too aggressive with cleaning it.
Safe to say the burgers were cooked.
Yeah,
a little overdone.
Yeah, but just
called Justin Bolus.
Yeah,
exactly.
George Boats over here.
Exactly. Yeah, for real. For real.
Yeah, but I think that like with a mesh shoe, it's like you can just go at it and be fine.
Getting into some sneaker news.
What's happening?
Want to start off with Travis, John McEnroe, Mac Attack ad. Not my favorite one. I thought like McEnroe's such a big personality. I thought maybe it would like
have some energy to it.
It was just although
it was a little anemic.
Maybe it was a preview, but I just thought I don't know.
That's it.
A little bit.
Yeah.
So
what do you think?
Is that collaboration like official? Like the because I remember you were still hesitant about the pair that Travis wore.
I still don't know if they're actually doing a Travis shoe. I mean, but they featured him in the rollout. Yeah. I think it was cool that the Utopia branding is popping up more and more. He's got the briefcase in there, but I agree with Joe. I think this is a smart moment because there's been such a long journey toward the Mac Attack Retro that Travis Scott has been involved in for a while now. But then when you finally get the footage, and I hope it's a precursor to something more substantial. But
yeah, it might be, totally.
John McEnroe, a famous fireball, somebody who we expect to bring a lot of energy, and it's just them dinking it around the court. You can't even see the court.
That's why I thought McEnroe is, he's known for like the big personality. And to be fair, maybe coming up, there's other assets, but I like the still image. I like I like the whole briefcase thing. I think that's dope for Utopia. But yeah, I just thought the video asset was a little
tepid.
Not like amazing.
I guess they'll get a little extra credit for me if they shot it at Nike World headquarters in Beaverton, but not sure.
I guess the one thing I will give him credit for, and like you said, we don't know if the Travis reverse swoosh is like an official, not that it's not official collaboration, but an actual like releasing product or just like a one-off, is that I know Travis has branched out and done other shoes in the past. He's done did an Air Jordan 33, which most people forget about. He's done Air Trainer 1s. etc., 270s. But I feel like for the longest time, it's like everything around Travis was just like the most obvious like hype models, where it's like Jordan 1 Low, Air Jordan 4, Air Force 1. And it makes sense because you want to build these big hype moments. But that was also like my least favorite segment of sneaker culture, because it just was like the ultimate hype beast era of sneakers, where it's like skinny ripped black jeans, Supreme t-shirt, Travis Scott sneakers.
Are you talking about anybody who's in this room right now?
Careful.
Is this
the Jordan 1s?
Just the whole era,
the whole
vibe of it, of like going to a resale shop and like already knowing what's going to be on the shelf.
All right, but those shoes were good.
Some of them were good, but just everything that it brought on, right? Like it made people not think outside the box, and it was just too obvious. But I think with John McEnroe, at least to some extent, I feel like it's moving into something a little more interesting.
And it's got the history involved. You got the person who was originally involved with the shoe. He's there.
Oh, yes. I thought you meant it's got the history involved. I'm like, the history of Travis and John McEnroe that goes way back.
No. John McEnroe himself.
Yeah. This is what I don't get. So the shoe itself is just called the Nike Attack, right?
I believe so.
I think that was the branding though. Like on the pictures, it just said Nike Attack in the corner. And our assumption is that because John McEnroe no longer officially, or thought maybe John McEnroe no longer officially like a Nike endorser, because they've done that in the past where they strip the name or the logo from the shoes. But he's in the ad, so why is it not the Mac Attack?
I mean, I assume that they just came to an agreement with him that involves him being
in the
ad and featured some way, but not, hey, you get to use my name every time you sell a pair of these shoes. Are you going to get a pair, Welty?
I would wear them.
Yeah?
Yeah, I would
it
wear
does something for you?
What's the last Nike you bought?
Last Nike shoe I bought?
Or got, yeah.
Oh, I mean... sadly enough, the last Nike shoe I bought was the brown Tom Sachs.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Going out sad.
Yeah.
Went down bad.
Picked the wrong way to spend your money.
Although I do like, I was talking to Brendan about this yesterday. Sorry, I forget the name. I'm blanking on the name of that new ACG model.
ACG Watercat?
Yeah. That looks like a Keen shoe.
It looks kind of like the Keen Unique.
Oof.
It's got the, I don't know if it's woven or knitted.
What's it called?
ACG Watercat Plus, I think.
Let me check my database.
Nice shoe for rolling around in an ankle-deep river. Are we going fishing in those, Welty?
Did you see the picture of Tinker Hatfield fishing over the weekend?
I saw that.
Yeah,
on the gram.
Yeah, he
wearing
dropped
those?
some gems.
I mean, you can't see his feet.
Oh.
He's waist deep in the Deschutes River. Brendan's.
Yeah, sad I wasn't invited. Maybe he had the Nike ACG Deschutes sandal on.
Classic. Bought 2 of those over the pandemic. Asked how many times I've worn them. 0.
That was a shoe I apologize. We've done so many episodes of this that I can't tell whether or not it's territory
you've talked
I've
about
tread
the
before,
shoots
but yeah.
several times.
Yeah, trying to find old pairs on eBay.
Wait, so are you buying Mac Attacks?
No.
He said no.
And are you
I
buying...
mean, a black colorway. We'll see.
No, you don't need a triple black Mac Attack.
Okay, guess not then. Jeez.
I'm trying to help you save your money.
Okay.
Imagine how chintzy those are going to feel too. If Nike makes a triple black Mac Attack, it's going to be the most synthetic shoe you've ever felt.
Okay, well, I guess not
to
then.
me, it's also like a triple black shoe, like that model. It's just like, to me, it's like the antithesis of like exciting looking tennis
He's
shoes.
just subbing you this whole episode.
I know. You don't think John McEnroe showing up all black, head to toe with the Mac Attacks?
Murdered out.
Come on.
No.
Like Mike Tyson used to? No? All right.
Not impressed.
Yeah. That's why you're not invited to the U.S. Open this year. Okay? Don't even touch Queens.
There's something I wasn't impressed by. I this is a rant I've been on before, but I have to keep going. The United States Postal Service has totally failed.
Did you
me.
get the thing?
No. My package never showed up. They keep closing the case, and I keep trying to reopen it. This is a pair of Air Max 95s and infrared 90s. Why are you laughing? This
Just
is
you
funny
trying
to you?
reopen? What do you have to? Just the pictures of the Trump indictment boxes. Are you trying to reopen them?
No, this has been going on for like a month now, and I mentioned where my mom sent me the shoes and she got a signature confirmation for them, and the package was signed for by a person that the signature left was F space CK. Like what is that? Like someone's playing a joke on me. They keep closing the case, and then USPS emails me back and they say the Postal Service is aware of the frustration and disappointment caused. You're not aware of the frustration and disappointment. You have no idea how much this pains me.
Damn.
When we do not live up to our commitment of safe and reliable mail service. These are gone forever, right?
Are there?
Yeah, you're done.
Are there?
You're gonna get the 1,000 back. You said.
I'm not. No, there's no way. The insurance is not going to come through. They're telling me there's no insurance on the package.
So I'm done. Yeah.
Dead.
Is there few places in the world worse than being in that actual post office these
When
days?
you're trying to fight for your package.
Not even just trying to fight for your package, just going to a post office is like the worst place on the planet.
I try to avoid it. I go in there with my woes because that's why I'm in there. And
You
they say,
go in
home
there
and file the thing online.
You go in there, you try to write out a label. They don't have any pens, and people ripped them off the.
Oh wow!
The,
You really hate that place.
The chain.
That
It's like
detailed.
you tried to find like the labels that they make you pay for, and they don't have any of them left.
I have a UPS store near me. It's great.
Oh, UPS is great, but post office, you go there, it's like the people who like work there are just like so miserable, and, like start yelling at you for no reason, and you're like, whoa.
Okay, now I'm never gonna
There
get my
had
package.
to be a reason. Probably studied.
Nope.
Strutted
Nope.
in. No. You sure?
No, I try to
Never
make
disrespected our government
Nope.
workers.
Try to make it as
cordial as possible.
Yes, and it's just
as we expect from him.
Yes, always. Speaking of a package that did hit,
Oh, Walt, are you gonna give us a little New Balance preview today?
a little
take a look.
unboxing. Let's
Take a
go
look.
straight to camera.
Let's take a look.
Let's take a look.
What do we got?
World exclusive.
Wow.
What shoe are we looking at for the viewer? Not for the viewers, for the listeners. Sometimes the listeners don't know.
Oh, we got
gotta spell it out
the
for 'em.
new unreleased Action Bronson 990 V6 Lapis Lazuli, Stone from the Sky or Stone from Heaven, one of the two.
Do you like this colorway better than the first Action Bronson 990
And
V6?
look, he
This
just
one?
reached back.
Oh,
This one,
like
right
Odell.
on cue. Right on cue.
This one.
Yes. Please break down the comparison, what you see, what you like, what you give one color.
Translations.
One. Now let's.
Jacques Cousteau.
Actually,
Yep.
Can I interrupt? Not that I
Yes.
would ever do that, but this is funny that you have the pistachio on deck because earlier when I was talking about a splotch on a mesh section of a shoe, this is the exact shoe I have sitting in my office at home.
And it's a
Action
splotch
Bronson, New Balance 990 V6, the baklava colorway, and on the right shoe there's a little brown dot on the toe box on the yellow mesh. Can't
Yeah,
figure it out.
but just
I should have
thought-
brought him in so Welty could clean.
Just
for
thought
me.
I'd give people like unreleased shoes haven't
Yeah.
come out yet. People seem to be excited about this. Everyone wants to know the release date. I don't know the release date.
You can't text. Will you text somebody from New Balance while we're on air and see if we can get it?
No, but
You
I don't know.
won't?
I think I guess there's a lot of debate going on online which colorway people like more. I don't
Where
know.
do you stand?
It's tough.
You have to
come
make a
on.
decision.
You got to make a stance.
I think I like the
Uh,
this one. People said this one's definitely more wearable, right?
Yeah,
This one I just like more.
that's the verdict.
You?
final answer.
I like the Lapis Lazuli more, I think. Even though, like I said, I've gotten a ton of wear out of the baklava colorway, I'm excited for the second colorway.
So much wear that you have a stain on it.
You know?
OG colorway for me. I like both though. I will wear both,
And the original feels more special.
Yeah.
The baklava, yeah, it feels more unique and distinct.
but I like both.
You need to get Bronson on the podcast.
Yes. Can we do that for this one? You came in here, big game, world exclusive. Get
Action.
him on. Action. Come on.
I think we were going to do it at one time, and then we pivoted, right?
Yeah.
But I don't want. Yeah, I want to have that conversation, but we got to let it breathe a little bit because
Yeah.
sometimes we get such a familiar cast of characters on all these shows that, I want to give people a break, and then we let life catch up to them, and then we catch back up to
Yeah.
them, right?
Yeah, of course.
In due time.
All right. Is that it?
Yeah,
Or-
that's it.
you
Just
br-
wanted to give an early look at the shoes.
Okay.
That's
yeah,
all.
I think that's worth it. Should we talk about the shoes we have on feet since we're on New Balance right now? I feel like I said earlier that we're all back together, but I feel like I'm not even together with you guys
Didn't get
because
the
everybody
memo.
has the same shoes on except me. So, Welty, what are you wearing?
Wearing the Palace New Balance 991s. And sorry to disappoint everyone. You probably already seen I will be wearing these for the full size run episode today
wow.
too. Because we're shooting two things in one
Double
day.
header.
Ratings in shambles.
Double headers. I
There
know.
goes all.
How are they ever going to move on? Stray Rats 991 for me. Wore these last night, and I kept them by the door. And I said, I have work tomorrow. I'm going to double up and wear them again.
Put in work.
Yep.
Not only are you both wearing New Balances, you're both wearing New Balance 991s.
Great shoe.
They went in for a pound together.
Not you, though.
No pound for me. I am
Look at-
wearing. Is this too on trend?
Look at you. The mulberry seeping through.
I'm downtown
he
a lot,
He
man.
brought mulberry
I'm
to
an upside
Times
pizza a
Square.
lot. I'm wearing Adidas Samba Seed. This is here. Say what you want about the Samba right now. Maybe there's too many of them out there. Maybe you see them too frequently. Maybe it's become a tired model. Let me just set the record straight right now. These Sambas are from a few years ago at least. 2019 at least, maybe 2018.
Oh, talk
I feel
your
like
shit.
the one you see most
Talk your shit.
these days is like that vegan pair that's like the black one with the gray toe.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Do you like those?
I like those.
They're okay.
I didn't know if the vegan one doesn't get a pass from a meat eater like you.
You know who's a big Samba fan?
Who?
Samuel L. Jackson.
Never forget.
Yep. Go check that.
More of a Stan Smith or a Rod Laver, though,
Yeah,
right?
over
And
150.
quad flavors.
Over
you.
150 pairs.
New episode of Sneaker Shopping this week with Samuel L. Jackson.
Yes, that's up. Go check that out.
Please
Sambas,
do.
I like those. He had to let you know he's had them 2018. Okay.
I had to bring him back.
Absolutely.
You know what is a bring back we have to talk about?
What?
Soul Retriever posted the info about the return of the Nike Roshe Run.
Oh, here we are.
Right away, I have to say, when I saw this headline, I had to do a double take because I didn't even realize that the
they're on
Roshe wasn't around. Did y'all realize that you couldn't just go? I mean, it makes sense now that I think
Well,
about it, but in my mind, it's been such a permanent shoe for the past decade
I think
plus.
that they replaced it in the line. You know, where
Stuff like the Tangent and things like that.
yeah, where you I think they moved it from like the Roshe was a shoe that was available almost everywhere.
Yeah.
At one point, like you could go to Foot Locker, Champs, Finish Line, all the way down and get
And all the way up, I feel like a lot of the boutiques had them as well.
But then, because like the retail price on Roshes was $60, I believe. Sounds about
I think it was a little higher when they first came out, 65 or 70.
yeah. They like kept it at that price point, that like cheap price point, but then they shifted it to like the discount retailers in like different models where it was like a Famous Footwear or something like that, where like that's where the new home for like those price point Nikes was.
And then they graduated the Roshe as well and had all these upgraded versions of it, you know, all these
Pendleton.
sequels and things like that. Yeah, not even just a Pendleton, but different models, you know, and Roshe 2, Roshe Plus, I think there
I think
was.
the Roshe 2 is like very short-lived though.
Yeah.
You talk about a time, just looking at those colorways brings you back. What a time in like sneaker culture, complex history.
A simpler time. I know the
Wow.
Roshe turned into a meme, and it's
Yeah,
cool to
but-
roast the Roshe, but when the Roshe first came out, that was so much fun.
So much fun. One colorway after the other. And then there's specific colorways. The kind of like the off-white with the teal green sole.
Calypso?
Calypso.
I could just
I
see-
can hear the steel drums in my
I
head
could
right
just
now,
see Noah.
Joe.
Noah. I could just see
Iguana?
Noah walking into the office. He might have had the little
Rolled up pants.
yeah, with the Calypso colorway. What an era. Might even buy one just to restore the feeling.
You're going to go buy a Roshe in 2023?
No.
immediately
Nope.
reconsidering your statement.
But think about how big we always say the Roshe was. Kanye famously said that him and Virgil were interning and then they were in the airport and they saw the Roshe Run. And Kanye said, I want to paraphrase that, he thinks the Monarch was the number one selling shoe at that time and the Roshe was number two. And that's like, he was like, we need to
Yeah, the
make a shoe
Adidas
that's going
Yeezy-
to replace
Yeah.
the Roshe. That's how big it was. Like we said, it turned into this internet meme, but talk about an era.
And it spawned the Adidas Yeezy 350 Boost. You look at
Exactly.
that silhouette, and it's the same style and shape, and that's because they wanted to make a Roshe killer, and that's exactly, I think they achieved that with
Yeah.
the Adidas Yeezy 350 Boost
But
V2.
it's funny though because it's like a Roshe killer, but like we're talking about price point.
Yeah.
It's like those shoes are so far apart.
You could buy 3 Roshes for the pair of an Adidas Yeezy 350
or even more than
Boost.
that. Yeah. Or not more, but like 3.5 or something.
I don't think you can buy a half pair.
And the quote is, this is before dad shoes became cool. I looked at that Roshe and I said, I need to replace that shoe. And now when you go to the airport, you definitely see 350s and you don't really see the Roshe anymore. Will we see the Roshe at LaGuardia?
Here's the thing.
It could happen. It could happen.
It depends on how they position it.
If it goes mass, can you
I
imagine?
just don't know if people
can you
are
imagine
like
if we
nostalgic for it. Like
right?
Yeah.
But can you imagine if it gets a whole different audience and it goes mass?
But will our audience co-sign it? Will the core sneakerhead people co-sign it? Because I
think
think
so.
that's what it takes a lot of times
Yeah.
for these shoes to go mass.
And I
Fair,
feel like that
fair,
style is kind of like off trend at this moment. Like,
that Zen minimalistic couple panels with
like
the
where
mesh.
it's like if that shoe comes out, it's not what everyone's like clamoring for, like stylistically at this point. So it's like I don't really see it becoming the ubiquitous shoe at this moment. Where like you're more likely to see like what is that shoe, like the New Balance 530?
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about? That like nurse looking shoe with all the synthetic panels on it that you see like
I know the
everywhere.
one,
Like
yeah.
I feel like those are the sort of models that you just see like flooding the streets at this point, where it's like I don't really see a Roshe becoming like the end all be all.
Not the 327, right?
No.
Oh,
Welty,
The
when the
530.
Roshe first came out, did you participate heavily?
I had a pair. I remember the first pairs were hard to get.
Yes.
It was supposed to be a grassroots like movement sort of situation, and like the Guana, Calypso, etc. were like only available on Nike.com or something.
Those were the colorways I remember that were tough to track down.
Yeah, where it's like you just saw people posting about it, and you're like, but where are these shoes? You know.
And they were flipping for a couple $100.
Yeah, and then I remember working at Foot Locker. Then all of a sudden, like Roshe's came in, and I think it was like 3 colorways that we had gotten at the time, and I ended up buying. It was the crimson pair, so it was all crimson with the gray swoosh on it.
Yeah, white sole.
Yeah, I bought those. Wore the heck out of those. Definitely, this was like right at like the end of like the menswear era, like Joe was saying, like rolled up pants. So like I didn't. So everyone who I know they make fun of the no-show socks. I did not wear my sneakers at that point, except if it was like Chucks without socks. I did wear like dress shoes and boat shoes and those sort of shoes
Without socks.
That was just the thing at the time. No socks. It was just a look. I don't know, but I did wear Roshe's without socks.
Roshe's without socks is a beautiful feeling.
But I feel like
Roshe's
Feel free, baby.
Roshe's
you
were
feel
kind
the
of
breeze through your
Yes.
toes.
they were kind of made to be worn sockless to some degree because they had
Solar soft insole.
they had like that EVA-ish, insole that could be taken out and just washed down and just thrown back in the shoe. Super breathable. I wore those.
one of the easiest shoes to wash.
Yeah, I wore
Scrub them
those.
down.
And then I ended up getting, this is regrettable, I ended up buying a mid-top pair of Roshe's.
Okay. Well, yeah.
Let me find out you spent a bunch of money on the box trolls.
Yeah.
Roshe.
I don't know.
No,
exclusive.
not those. I bought they were at Foot Locker. They had came in and I got my discount on them, and they were just gray with like a royal blue swoosh on it, and I was like, this is like not the best idea.
Were Roshe's selling like hotcakes at Foot Locker at the time? Do you remember?
They started picking up, and then all
Must have been the tail end of your time there, right?
yeah. This is right around the time I got like hired at Complex. And I remember like there was like 3 colorways that came in. Next thing you knew, there was like 14 different colorways of the Roshe, and you're like, okay, like a little like you can't sell this many of them, you know?
So you got to Complex right at the end of Foot Locker getting the Roshe.
Yeah,
Wow, some sentimental.
it's like the crossover period. But I remember the one that was big though was the Yeezy Roshe 2.
Yeah.
The FB.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those came in and
With
they
the
were
colorway?
They were only
Yeah,
at
I
the
got 2 of those.
They were only at the Foot Action in the mall that I worked at, and everyone like only like a limited run or something like that. And people were like, oh, I need to go buy these like real quick.
People
because-
lining up for Roshe's. Don't let the history escape you. This really happened.
And some history, an interview with Aaron Phillips, who actually used to work at Complex. In 2012, he did with the designer Dunne Roshe. In the interview, Dylan says, the design process for the Roshe started back in the fall of 2010. I was asked to bring ideas to a Nike sportswear, which focused on ways of bringing value to a lower price point. I was the only designer in a group of merchandisers, marketing, and salespeople. And when I presented the concept behind the Roshe, the room was crickets. Apparently, the idea was too abstract. Then, in the other part of the interview, you were just talking about it. It says, apart from the details, I wanted the shoe to be as versatile as possible. I designed it so it could be worn barefoot or with socks. You could dress it up or down in it, travel with it, walk or run in it, chill in it, almost anything. I felt the simpler I can make it, the more profound it would become.
I love the detail too about crickets in the meeting.
I know.
In the pitch, because I feel like, and I guess this has to do partly with the myth making of sneakers, but there's so many models like that. You think about the Air Max 1, not to put the Roshe on the same level of the Air Max 1, although I don't think it's like super far off, but the story of that shoe's design and how Tinker Hatfield and Mark Parker had to fight for it and how nobody at Nike understood it. I feel like sometimes those are the most impactful ones, you know, of oh, people don't get this. And then, I mean, how many Roshes have they sold? How much revenue did they make off the Roshe line as a whole? It's insane.
Yeah.
One of the, I don't want to say frustrating, but this is what happens in the sneaker world. You get a shoe like the Roshe, right?
Okay.
Where it's designed to look like a running shoe, but I think Nike very clearly said this is not a running sneaker.
Well, the funny thing was when it first came out, it was called the Nike Roshe Run.
Yes.
And later on, they took the word run out of it. And I don't have the facts exactly, but I recall at the time hearing that was because they didn't want to signal to people that it was a legitimate running
But there's
shoe.
a lot of people on the market or whatever, going to sneaker stores like we've talked about, who see shoes that look like running shoes that aren't actually like designed to currently run in.
Yes,
but
it's not a performance shoe.
But sometimes the consumer isn't as well informed on making these decisions on what is a good and bad running shoe, and they see a shoe like the Roshe and think that it's a running shoe. And there was people out there trying to run in Roshes, and that shoe just had, I can already picture that shoe being like pronated over. It just had no support.
One of my
all.
gym shoes
At
feels
all.
like probably.
It's like a 270, you know, or
Yeah,
it's
which
like,
I was working out in
the
a while.
Roshe-
I knew he was projecting.
it was like Nike trying, like putting out there that this is kind of like a running shoe, or people thinking it's a running shoe, and then just not being a running shoe, but people out there trying to run in them and just totally probably like murdering their ankles. And
Joe, we have to ask, did you ever run in a pair of Nike Roshe Runs?
No.
Are you sure?
I'm actually not sure, but I know I didn't work out in them.
you didn't work on the Tech Fleece Roshes?
No, those actually, the Tech Fleece.
Tech Fleece Roshes in the mold. There was a mulberry colorway.
I
We take
know.
it back to mulberry. Remember that?
know.
Oh, the sock darts as well. I bought 2 pairs of the mulberry sock dart Tech Fleece.
Yeah. That was
Just-
a time.
Just spending
buying.
money on all the wrong things.
Yeah.
I'll say this too about the Roshe bring back. Certain sneakers like the Nike Dunk, for example, it coming back feels more special because we're not old enough to remember the original versions. You know, I wasn't around when the Dunk first came out, and also there was more restraint around the shoes in those prior eras when it was around. So Dunk came out in '85, and then you have the retro at the end of the '90s when they still weren't making a ton of them, and then in the 2000s there's more. But we remember not that long ago when the Roshe came, and it was an exciting moment, and then there were a million of them within a few years, and it was saturated, and it was not a cool shoe, and it was a meme. So I think we're entering a weird period of people having the memory of exactly how cool or uncool that shoe was at certain times, and because of that, I don't think there's going to be the same appetite. I don't think we're going to be nostalgic about the Roshe because it wasn't that long ago, 1, that it was still available, and 2, that it was a not cool shoe. You know what I mean? So I don't think anybody's expecting it to be this, but there's no world, I imagine, in which the Roshe can be on the level of the Dunk right now.
That was a true, if Homeboy comes through in these.
How many times you going to use that?
It's crickets. Number one.
I saw
on Coileray. I did not.
Yes, go ahead.
I saw.
I did not say it.
Yeah, but you said I wouldn't clear it.
No, that was a joke. Okay, we have to
Brendan
explain.
wrote
We have to
that joke.
explain. On the latest episode of Full Size Run, or the last episode of Full Size Run, Coileray had one of those type of moments. It sounded like maybe a thinly
saw
veiled
it.
reference to
But it was. Yeah, I saw.
sneaker shopping moment,
Mm-hmm.
and Welty maybe
You're
egged her
allowed
on a
to?
little bit, but there was a joke to it. Sorry, we're getting so deep.
It's okay.
I added the joke in there,
Okay.
the reference.
No, that's fine.
So be mad at me.
It's
Hate
fine.
me
I think
now.
yeah. No hate.
Thank you. Thank
You do
Joe.
bring back the Dunks. There's something I want to talk about.
Please.
I think, I know he's usually there was a tweet this weekend guy, but
Hmm?
I'm going to go. I saw Corey,
Young Corey.
Of Circulate fame.
Yes, our friend.
Yes.
And he said, I haven't worn Dunks in so long, but I think I'm about to start wearing all mine again. I love these so much. Top 5, the Uncle High.
Yeah.
Beautiful shoe.
Beautiful shoe.
You
And
have a
then-
pair?
I do have a pair. And then what
Well, what happened was that our friend, once again, Reese Laflare, who you can go watch his Full Size Run episode.
Please do.
OG Nike SB skater guy from back in the day.
Sorry, a Nike SB appreciator. He wasn't like signed by Nike SB.
Wasn't he getting? I thought he was getting flowed the shoes at the time too. It was on the team, but I think he had said that
Okay,
he was
okay.
Nike SB was sending him product to skating during the OG era of
Got it.
Nike SB. Either way, he had said he's like, oh, I can go bar for bar with you, and because like Corey started breaking out shoes, and obviously Reese has shoes too, and then he's like, oh, maybe I got rid of a lot of my
Golden
pair.
era Nike SB Dunk stuff.
Yeah, but it would be cool, and he was like, oh, let's go bar for bar, and I'm like, well, I'm here for it if you guys like want to.
you going to moderate it?
If they want to try to like be like, hey, you got this, you got this, you got this, and I'm not trying to be like, oh, I'm stealing your sneaker battles ideas.
You get Tony Mui back. You and him?
We could do it. It'd be fun to watch.
We're not setting that up before we set up Fat Joe and PG.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I told you that was never going to happen. PG won't even come on here. You think he's gonna... I will say, though, there's too many Dunks. Looking at that tweet, and, like, there's so many Dunks.
SB dunks or what do you
No,
mean?
just think dunks in general.
You think there's too many dunks?
I think you always talk about we always talk about saturation.
Too many.
There's too many dunks, I think.
You're tired of it?
Yeah, and I never really like feel that way. I'm losing track of who is making what dunk. That's how many I see and have seen. And during the pandemic, over the past 2 years, I was so leaned into dunks. I got the undefeated highs, CDG.
Buying new stuff in addition to old stuff.
CDG highs with never worn. Like so many, I was so into it. The Haze dunks.
Yeah.
I think Nike just killed it with the saturation of just the OG models, like in every single shade of the rainbow.
This feels like very, to me, almost like up-tempo-ish.
The up-tempo was a shoe that Nike, unfortunately, murdered at one point.
But the same thing happened. At least I'm speaking personal. The black and white up-tempos I was wearing, and then all the colorways. But
Joe, when you get this feeling, does this stem from just seeing them a ton online, or is this partly if you see too many of them in person? Because I suspect that you don't care really if you have a dunk and a million other people are wearing dunks in person, right?
No, I care more about the production of it.
How many are out there in total?
Yeah, I don't care about
I'm sure you see it when you do sneaker shopping episodes and go to the resale shop, and then you're like, oh man, 90% of the wall is Jordan 1s and dunks, and it's just ugh.
It just seems like even Instagram, like you said, I don't care if I see them on the street. I think
you show up to an event
totally
and you
fine.
have dunks on and 5 other people have dunks on.
Totally fine with that. I just feel like every day there's a new dunk announcement.
Yeah. It's funny because...
And it's going to be tougher to break through, I think.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
The ones that break through, I think it's going to mean more.
Yeah, I feel a similar way to you, especially because I have accrued so many pairs in the past couple of years, and I've gone back and looked, and I'm like, why did I buy these?
Right.
Ones
this is a cool colorway, and I'm like...
Ones that at the time where Nike was still making the dunk feel so special and something that...
It still felt like be true to your school-ish.
Yeah, and where it was if you had the opportunity, you should buy them because you could resell them or you could trade them for something, or you're just not going to get the opportunity. It's that feeling that Nike is so good at instilling in us. And cracking open a box and being like, Syracuse Nike dunk highs? This is a fine shoe other than the crappy synthetic leather on it, but I am never going to wear this. And so that for me, I know Joe doesn't have this reaction, but my next step is go on StockX, and I'm like, oh, maybe I'll make a little bit of money off of
$0.
Not zero, but it's $36 after the 4% fee and the 8% fee and the 2% fee and
it's one of those
whatever
trends
happens
that,
after that.
I've obviously been a dunk fan in the past, but really happy I did not buy into that.
Oh, I bought a lot, bro.
You didn't buy any dunks or get any dunks?
I love the
You
dunk,
didn't add
too.
any dunks to your collection in the past 3 years? I feel like you missed out on so much fun.
No, people, I had gotten a few, thank you to friends who had done dunk projects over the past couple of years, but other than that, I did not buy one pair of dunks.
Really?
Over pandemic era. And
Were you tempted at all?
Nope.
Chunky Dunkies?
Nope.
Oh, no.
Travis?
I'm happy I got those, though.
Good.
Travis. I'm happy I got those.
There was even our friend Corgi, he's a guy who's sitting on a lot of cool, weird dunk colorways that I never even knew existed. And I remember in the middle of pandemic buying a pair of Euro exclusive Nike Dunk Highs, Be True style color blocking. I think it's white. And maybe the red is called brick red. And they have, instead of flat laces, they have rounded laces like a Nike SB shoe, which is super unique. And I never wore them, and they're still sitting there. And I'm like, why did I?
This is how I had an epiphany the other day. When I knew the dunk was, I already thought the dunk was dead because what Nike had
But not
done
dead.
to it, what they had done to it.
Mm-hmm.
But
You're saying dead.
yes, and the moment that I realized it was we were sitting on the full size run set, right, and we had the shoes in the boxes, right, and I remember we had an episode when there was a pair of shoes and they were the Curry. Dunks.
Yeah, my pair of Curry Dunks on the set, yeah.
Curry Dunks.
Or reverse Curry, sorry.
Yes.
Uncurry.
And they're sitting there in the case, and they're such a special shoe because it's like
a shoe that I've wanted for so long, a shoe I'm so happy to own, a shoe that I still have dead stock.
And they're sitting there in the box, and I'm looking at it, and I know the story behind it because you had it, and I know how OG and special that shoe is, but they just look like another shoe that Nike's murdered over the past 3 years. It looks like another colorway of OG style dunks that just happens to be sitting there, and I'm like, wow.
They just look plain, but without the context of the past 2 years and the resurgence and all the extra dunks, then it still would have looked special to you as some relic from 25 years ago.
But now that I see it, and I just think of I don't know, the white and seafoam or whatever colorway Dunks that there's like a million different shades or white and gray, like just whatever you see in the streets all the time.
What
It
about
just seems like another one.
another story that hits home? I wait 6 years to get Jason Sudeikis on sneaker shopping, right? And there's a moment that we talk about the Argon Dunk, right?
Beautiful
the
shoe.
OGs. I
got them. I got the original.
I end up going back and getting an OG pair of the Argons.
I remember how
I
excited
feel like
I was.
the Argon Dunks
Hold
a
on,
little
he
expensive.
knows. Hold on. I end up getting a pair of the OG Argons.
Yeah.
I got Jason Sudeikis.
They weren't cheap. I know that.
I got Jason Sudeikis. We
No
talk
comment?
about it. I'm like, this is why I'm in this business, baby.
Yeah.
Pop culture crossover. Argon Dunks, Sudeikis. Last year, I land in Atlanta. We go to Gus's.
What's it's a
The guy stage left. What are we? Stage left or stage right?
our producer Dave Matthews.
Right here, pulls up in the offset light blue Atlanta fitted, not the one he's wearing now, light blue two-tone Atlanta fitted.
Hank
and,
Aaron.
And the recently released Argon
The
Dunks.
Argon Dunk Retro.
Trying to flex.
So you're saying Dave Matthews ruined the
No,
Argon
he
for
didn't.
you?
He didn't. I would be hypocritical to say because I just said. But talk about how many, let's just say, how many Dunks have you owned, Dave?
He's wearing Dunks right now.
This is our producer.
Okay, 2 Dunks. And that's it, the Argon.
You saying he needed to like pass a test in order to own such a historical shoe?
No, I'm not gatekeeping. I'm just saying, like, the Argon, just such
I
a...
remember how excited I was when
Yeah.
I first got the word that the Argon Nike Dunk was coming back. You know, we broke the news that the
Yes.
retro was on the way.
Yeah, I think that colorway sticks out a little more.
Yeah.
just because.
But I feel like that kind of came and went, no?
But I feel like
Yeah.
just like the color blocking on that,
Is a little bit more unique.
a little more unique.
Love that shoe.
Than just like what we were talking about recently, which
White
is
color.
Yeah.
Yeah, or the flip of it.
We need to put the fit in, Dave.
But I do think that speaks to another interesting thing to consider is the extent to which.
Dude, they're going for, like, almost retail. Sorry.
But is that a good thing
Argons.
or is that a bad thing?
I'm just saying, it's
I don't
fine.
know. I don't know. I
fine.
go back
I
and
don't.
forth.
I
on
don't
this.
think. I don't
by
think.
that.
I don't think shoes not reselling for a lot of money is like
No.
a sign of. No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Of whatever.
You don't think it's a bad thing?
No.
No.
But
Just
yeah,
saying.
I know. But just this thing of, and this is a topic we've covered recently, of whether or not certain shoes should continue to be special and should continue to be
Yeah.
held
We
in
always
such
talk
high
about that.
regard that they're not,
Yeah.
you know, popping up on the feed of some random guy who produces a sneaker podcast at Complex. You
Oh,
know?
yeah.
Oh, God. But, yeah,
No,
part of me...
the wrong person wearing a shoe. I'm not taking shots.
No,
I'm not
don't.
taking. But the wrong person wearing a shoe can ruin it for me. I'll say that,
wow.
and maybe that's elitist of me. But,
Wow.
But you don't feel that way?
Not really.
I'm not doing this as a bit to take a shot at our producer because I
No,
still love
I
the
don't feel
Argons.
like that. I just feel, again...
If you saw the wrong person in
No.
the right shoe, you wouldn't be mad. I know Welty would.
I don't know.
I don't
I'm not-
think
I'm not
so.
trying to care.
Yeah,
But I do think,
I know
all I'm
people are
saying,
gonna-
I don't look at it like that. I do look at just a little bit of oversaturation. Damn, so you see someone, you put them on ice, that's it?
Yeah, I mean, this is a
Damn.
problem with my sneaker buying habits is that I'm so prone to putting things on ice and I'll just put
And
stuff
then you
away
never
for a
wear
long
it.
time and
You
then
never wear
Same
it.
with
then
me.
I never come back to an era where I'm interested in it, like that pair of Nike Dunk Highs that I bought, the brick
Yeah.
red pair. Actually, you know, there's a really funny. I got to take it back to Gov Ball real quick.
Okay.
Because you know, anytime I'm out in the public, you know, adoring fans come up to
of
me and want
course.
to chat footwear.
Of
You know,
course.
we all know this feeling. And this guy comes up to me and he's, "Oh, it's so cool. Watch the podcast." And then he walks off and he runs back to me and he says, "Wait, no, I have to say this to you because I know you have power." Which
Oh.
the idea that we
People
have,
think that we could like, hey, I want this shoe to get released. Hit up Nike and like, talk. I'm like, dude, I cannot do that for
the
you.
idea that the idea that we have any sway within the walls of Nike is extremely laughable. But he said, "I know you have power. Bring back the dunk mids." And I said, "I'll get right on it."
Trinidad, still the mid agenda, right?
There's if somehow I had the ability to convince anyone at Nike to release a certain shoe or to bring something back or to put something away, there's no way, respectfully to that guy, because I told him in the moment that I would, there's no way I would spend that energy
On the dunk
and that
mid.
clout on some return of the dunk
Yeah.
mid. Not going to happen.
One thing I want to bring up, so I think this is an interesting topic and also something that I guess hits close to home. So, Hanon shop in Aberdeen, Scotland. Good friends, Brian, Ed, Tomo, all you guys. So they've been around for 30 years.
I had no idea they were around that long.
Since 1993. So they recently posted, sadly, our Aberdeen shop is closing permanently, and they put out a statement. All operations are to move entirely online, where business will trade as normal. But I think this is the interest. Well, I think there's a lot of interesting part, but it says it was not an easy decision to take, but is largely enforced due to a culmination of factors out with our control. In particular, increased economic pressures exacerbated by the pandemic and a shifting retail landscape has meant that conditions are at a point where the shop is no longer viable. So Hanon, like, I don't know if the term still applies, but like a tier 0 boutique, like the toppest of tiers. There are done many great collaborations throughout the years, especially with New Balance.
A lot of Asics.
A lot of Asics.
God, I wanted some of their Gel Light 3s so bad.
Done a lot of great shoes, and they're not going out of business. They're just going online. But they said at this point in the world that owning a physical sneaker boutique is no longer good for business.
It doesn't come as a huge surprise, I guess, especially considering our own sneaker buying habits.
Yeah.
I can't really say that I go to physical sneaker stores that often and actually spend my money on shoes. I'm in stores a decent amount to see what's on the shelves and to look around, but I'm sure y'all feel the same way. If I see a shoe in a store, I'm gonna look online and see if I can find it somewhere else for cheaper. So I do understand the tendency to lament these things and it's a shame that we can't go to these places anymore. But I'm like, other than in our works supporting the stores and highlighting things that people are doing in physical stores, I'm not really spending a lot of money at a physical shoe store in 2023 anyway, so I do understand it.
So you want sneaker stores to be all online?
No, absolutely not. I'm just saying, I mean, like, did you ever go to Hanon?
I was supposed to go there a few months ago or whatever, but had like a issue, whatever, and I couldn't go. But I hadn't gone to the physical store. I did in 2019, I went to London and they did a pop-up event for the re-release of the Adidas London.
Okay.
They did an old school style sporting goods store.
Was that the one that you spoke at?
Yeah, I did. I did a talk at
TED Talk.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming.
But I think it's an interesting topic where it's like one of like the cooler sneaker boutiques throughout the history of sneaker boutiques is signaling that, you know, it's like we're only going to be an online store at this point because it's not a viable business.
Yeah, I mean, do y'all spend time or money in sneaker stores?
Yes. And the one thing I would say,
resale shops or
do I spend money? Good question.
or time? Do you hang out there?
I do. I don't hang out.
Yeah.
I like to go in though, especially when I'm on the road. I went into and this isn't breaking news. I went into a store last week in LA. I was in Kith. The parody on the wall is really like different. Like and that's something that we've talked about, I guess, and it's not
Brand selection.
I do think Kith has one of the best selections there is, and I'm not just saying that just because.
It's very interesting. Went into Kith Rodeo, and it's like the Jordans are over here, and like even like the Nikes, Jordans and Nikes are over there, and then Solomon and New Balance. And if you like had a heat map of where I spent my time,
it's all the other stuff.
It's like Solomon, New Balance. I stayed there. Even like awesome Birkenstock. Like it's just the parody on the wall. Which
all the Asics, Merrells, all that
100%.
sort of stuff. Yeah,
and it was just like. Again, not anything that hasn't been talked about, but it's definitely something I realized, like, wow, like the stuff that I want to buy out of this store is all these other brands, essentially.
I think it's interesting, too, like, we've talked about this recently, is like all the Nike stuff, like the Nike stuff that you probably actually want to buy is all this, no, but it's also the stuff that like sells out like on release day and then maybe you don't have a chance to get it. So you go into the sneaker store itself and you see the Nike product, and there's like very few Nike shoes that are like available in retail stores.
Yeah.
On like just walk in and be able to buy it that you actually have interest in buying. But the other brands, it's like they're maybe the collaborations and whatnot are gonna sell out right away. But I feel like you have a better chance of walking into a sneaker store now and finding something from one of the other brands that feels like exciting and interesting. That where you're not like, hey, I'm just buying the leftovers. It's like the meat of the product.
And I think also you talk about exciting, like my friends, like what shoe should I get right now? And I just, the like green and black Solomon XT4. And like you are excited about putting them on something that they may not be used to buying, like in their like sneaker purchasing patterns. But like, it's definitely a thing.
I also think there's a discovery element to it.
Yeah.
there's a sentiment that gets passed around a lot of, oh, I miss the days when you would walk into a sneaker store and you would see something that you never saw before, because we live in this age, and Complex contributes to it, of everybody knows everything about every release, and any given shoe that's at a sneaker store you saw 12 months ago because we leaked it and there's images of it out there and you know the exact plan for the rollout. But some of these smaller brands, like a Solomon, that's the one that sticks out to me. If I go to a store and I look at what they have on the shelves, I don't even know the names of some of those models, and that's me as a person who lives this stuff. Some of those colorways I haven't seen. So it's that fun discovery aspect of like, oh, these are things that don't get leaked or beaten to death online by publications like ours way ahead of the fact. So I can still go into a store and see something I haven't seen before and be like, I like this, I'm going to buy this.
Definitely. I think, I may get it wrong, but I think it was T-Mobile. I was watching Monday Night Raw in like the
Arena? T-Mobile Arena?
Totally legally watching.
Yeah, with the stream you paid for.
Yeah. And, you know, like the commercials come on in between matches. And there was, I want to say it was T-Mobile. They had a commercial and it goes, you used to have to go online to find out about where to go to buy, like, for the sneaker release. You'd have to get the info on your phone to go to the sneaker release to line up. But they were like, but now through whatever you can buy it all online, right? And like there was a commercial for it saying that like, oh, like the day of the sneaker, they're basically
what's the commercial for T-Mobile?
I think so. It was like a phone company talking about how you can somehow buy all your shoes through your phone now.
Right.
And it's like signaling the day of like the sneaker release is like a relic of the past, you know?
I mean, when was the last time you went to a sneaker release?
Oh man.
Maybe I'm out of touch.
No, I don't think you're out of touch. I think that you're probably like a lot of us who, even though, and again, I get the sentiment and I feel the same way of it sounds like a bummer, especially like, you know, small independently owned stores.
Yeah.
There are less and less of them. You know, Amazon owns this, or everything is owned by Snipes, or what is the parent company? I feel like every 6 months there's a new merger, and there are fewer actual sneaker stores than just one conglomerate. So I understand that, but also on a practical level, and just trying to be honest with myself, I don't buy shoes in store that much. You know, I've spent more money on sneakers than I have at any given sneaker store, probably in the past 5 years.
Yeah.
But I do think it's a bummer.
Changing times. I think,
and I think we still need stuff like that, and I hope that those small stores can still continue to flourish and be around in some way. I mean, I had a great time this past weekend. I was in Cincinnati for Unheard Of's release of their Adidas Rivalry Low. Shout out to Phil, Joe, Manley, Brick, everybody I saw out there, and I still love those moments, and I do feel like I need to get out to them more, seeing the lineup and hanging out and buying a shoe and things like that, but it's not as easy as just picking up your phone and finding where the coupon is and plugging it all in.
But how would you feel, Joe, if like there's a day and age when you're doing a sneaker shopping episode and it's no longer going to a sneaker store and it's just two people sitting in
put on the MetaQuest 2 goggles?
You're sitting here with a guest, and you're just both on your laptops.
it's funny because we were thinking about that during the pandemic. Online sneaker shopping.
Hop on a Zoom call.
Yeah.
Share my screen.
Yeah. Turned into sneaker stories, which I'm proud of.
Right.
But listen, we have to adapt, I guess. You know, we still get to see what they're feeling, what they're not.
And then hopefully
on the .com, maybe. You know, yeah. Hopefully they get to add to cart.
I guess also I still like to go to stores. I think the resale shops are sometimes the more interesting stores because those are the ones where you can see some of the stuff that you never see in person, you know?
Oh, sorry because I totally forgot about it. I just blanked and you asked me a question. Last time I had been to a sneaker release, I did go to the New Balance 2002
protection pack?
Yeah.
When Extra Butter had the majority of the pairs, so they had like the lead on it in the US?
No, it was like the second wave of it. Okay. The one that came out last year, I think, where they did the CL colorway and like maybe the all orange.
The ones that Clark was campaigning for on the Sneaker of the Year panel.
Those ones. They did
orange.
They did like a early drop or whatever. They had like a party, etc. But you could go and buy the shoes, and I did buy the shoes. So
New Balance 2002 R. Let's not sleep on that shoe. Have y'all noticed how much that sneaker is out and about? There's
Yes.
a lot of New Balance 2002Rs, and I'm with it.
I think
I'm here
I
for
think it hits the right price point for a lot of people because a lot of people, when they saw New Balance was a big thing, they weren't as used to buying New Balance, and we had seen that with like the ALD
especially a Made in USA one,
991
which the 2002R
collaboration,
isn't.
which like the shoe was like $270, and they're like, this is crazy, and they didn't realize sometimes the price points on New Balance shoes are kind of nuts.
Yeah.
Or even like a 990 is like a $200 shoe.
Right.
But the 2002R, you can get a pair for like $140.
Yeah.
And that hits way more, or like 120 on sale or something like that, and it hits way more the price point of people are trying to purchase.
Yeah, I think the shoe, even though, like I just said, it's around a lot, but New Balance has cooled down on it a little bit, right, in terms of special projects. I feel like they had people help introduce it, Salehi most notably, but now that it's kind of out there and we're familiar with it, we're not seeing that many 2002R collabs anymore, right?
Not as much.
I like the Invincible ones a lot. Yeah. What
I was wearing the DTLR ones the other week on the podcast.
Yeah, I know you're a fan of those, but yeah, 2002R. Those are selling. Those are selling like hotcakes. Ask your local boutique. Gentlemen, what else is going on in the world of footwear?
So, something that's coming up is that, and I don't know if people are gonna get excited about this because we talk about resale value on everything. As we're shooting this, MSCHF's Big Red boots are going to Restock today. Obviously, they were a huge viral moment
And a huge shoe.
Yeah, huge shoe.
Yeah.
So hold on. Those dropped this year?
Yeah.
Yes.
Where have
Those
you been?
didn't-
Where have you been?
I just get the
feels
I
like-
get the November, December 2022 mixed up from early.
Okay.
Yeah.
But those didn't make our little spoiler alert because they're not sneakers. Is that why they didn't make our top
They
10
made our.
list?
They made our. I don't know if it's going to be on a different list.
Yeah, so we do a couple different lists every mid-year and end-of-year at Complex where we rank the best sneakers, the best Jordans. One of those things is the best new sneaker designs. We put that shoe, even though it's a boot, it's called the Big Red Boot. We put that shoe on there because we felt like it was disruptive and interesting enough to warrant inclusion.
Yeah.
There.
Is it high?
No, it's not particularly. I mean, the shoe again,
It's
physically,
high.
it's high. You know, it's
Right,
big and it's
right,
high,
right.
but is that? But we didn't put it on the mid-year for the best sneaker releases. It's just a little bit outside of that, you know.
But
anyways-
change the not even being hyperbolic. Change the
So
game.
huge
Own the first few months of 2023.
viral moment, but I feel like someone had made a comment online saying, "Hey, look, it's funny because everyone bought their pairs, but they just wanted to get the one fit off with it, and that's all it was because it's not really something you're gonna like keep in rotation and wear on a regular basis. It's not practical footwear.
Yes.
So it's like once they all came out and dropped,
And got the content.
then no one wanted them.
And there were a bunch of fake pairs floating
Yeah.
around, I think.
But not to say that resale value should dictate your thoughts on any of this, but they were resale. People bought a ton of them thinking they were going to flip the heck out of them, and they were going for like $100 under retail because the retail price is $350, and
There were pairs available under retail?
they're available right now.
Joe, why are
Really?
we buying them?
Yeah, you can buy them on any website right now for way under retail.
I can't.
But they're restocking them for $350 when you can buy them for $260.
Interesting. Do you think there's going to be another wave? Imagine another wave. June. When did they come out?
I mean, I think you said Halloween is the second wave we
Oh,
can expect.
Wait,
definitely.
can we ever see you wear those on episode of Sneaker Shopping?
No.
Why not?
Gideon did though. Shouts to Gideon. Shouts to Gideon. He donated the
Yeah.
All the shoes he bought on Sneaker Shopping?
Yeah, and go check his video out on his channel.
Beautiful moment.
But he also, it's funny, the Big Red boots. The weird thing about that video, he's a size 13. He fit into a size 10 Big Red boot.
Oh, there's just
That has to be a lie.
Who knows?
That's a prank. I don't know.
Who
man.
knows?
I
thought
don't know.
maybe we were getting pranked.
also a friend of mine, Heber. He recently ran. My friend Heber. He ran a half marathon
In the boots?
in the Big Red.
No.
boots.
Wait!
There's a YouTube video you can go watch.
You
it.
know somebody who ran 13
When was
miles
this?
in the
It-
Big
actually
Red boots?
he put the video out last night.
What was
on YouTube?
what was his
Put that
pace?
on
It's
social.
on the Buttery Bros.
Wait, did that go
YouTube
viral yet?
page. Not yet. I think he dropped it last
Send
night.
that to social. I
Yeah.
want
It's funny. We were like, nobody's ever going to wear these again. They just wanted the content. And then your
Yeah,
friend
and-
Wait,
only
how'd he
wanted
do?
the content.
I mean, he's like a really fit guy,
Mm-hmm.
but he said that his leg got like tore up.
That is crazy. That's like,
We got to interview. We got to have him on the next
we got to do a
podcast.
30 for 30 on that athletic feat performance.
Yeah, ran 13 miles in the big red boots.
Wow.
Is he training
Send
in
that
them
to
at all?
social.
I almost want to call him right now and ask
You
15
FaceTime
questions about this.
No, I mean, we can set it up after, but no, he's like super fit dude.
Yeah.
That's like made a
Wait,
bunch
did he
of,
do it for a stunt?
Yeah, he's like a
Well, he didn't do it for the
He's like
PR.
a-
Yeah, me in the
He's
270s,
he didn't
who
do it for
knows?
the
he's like a,
TV.
he's like a
You
fit,
know?
he's like a fitness YouTube guy, made a bunch of like fitness documentaries, et cetera, et cetera. But he
Okay.
decided to randomly run a half marathon in big red
Wow, we
boots.
need that. Good thing this is dropping Friday because we're going to post first.
Okay.
Have you talked to him about it?
Yeah, he hit me up. He's like, I think it's the time to drop the video finally, because he had done it like when the shoes or the boots had come out and had been sitting on the content. And,
You know what I want to see too? The after, sometimes elite athletes, which it sounds like this young man is. Is he a young man?
about my age.
Sounds like this guy is.
He's such an ass.
sorry.
I was wondering where he was going to go with it.
After a particular match or feat or event, you have the people in the warehouse lab breaking down
Yeah.
exactly the abrasion on the shoes and
Yeah.
how they're
Get
worn.
Lethal Shooter back in here.
Yeah, I want to see what the before and after of the big red boot 13-mile half
We should
marathon.
maybe do a
We'll
story
do
on
2
that.
hours with him on this
Yeah.
podcast
Yeah.
next
Get
week.
hop on the phone, get all the photos.
Yeah.
Stay tuned. You may see that on
That's
complex.com.
incredible though. I
That
salute, I
is.
salute him.
Yeah.
Shout out to you, Heber.
Wow.
That's dedication. Everybody else was, like we said, people wanted those things so they could get some clout on the internet, which we're all guilty of. But, there's a lot of people out there who they live for that. They build their whole life around that. They spend way too much
Not
time on
looking
certain
at him.
social
I'm not
media
looking at
platforms
I'm not
for
looking
that.
at him.
He really went the extra mile.
Yeah.
The extra
13
13 miles.
Yes, he did.
So
Yeah.
All right. Stay tuned. There'll be something on complex.com or complex social.
Yeah.
I'm interested to check that out.
beautiful.
All right, everyone. This
Yep.
is it. Gang's back together. Mm-hmm. Gang's all here.
And we got a fun one. Actually, no, let me not. Sometimes plans change,
Yep,
things
yep.
like that. But hopefully next week will be amazing as well.
Hopefully, fingers crossed.
We'll be here, though.
Oh, yeah.
All right, everyone. This has been the Complex Sneakers Podcast. We hope everyone has a great weekend. Please like, subscribe. We will see you next week.